Hello Internet, I'm TechVamp, and this is the Galaxy Z Fold 2. All those shots and photos you just saw at the beginning were taken from this phone. I've had this phone for about 20 months now, and I'm gonna tell you my experience with it. Let's get into it. Alright, first thing I like to talk about is specs. Of course, this phone runs a Snapdragon 865 processor chip, 256 gigs of storage, 12 gigs of RAM, a 4,800 milliamp battery, along with a 6.1 inch screen on the outside that opens up to a 7.5 inch screen on the inside, which is just 0.3 of an inch smaller than an iPad mini. Okay guys, one of the first things people ask me about this phone is, can you put a case on it? And the answer is yes. But unfortunately, when you put a case on it, the sides don't really have anything to grab onto, so it just makes it very flimsy and very cheap feeling. Now let's talk about that screen, shall we? Now the screen looks phenomenal. It's a 1440p 120Hz bendable OLED display on the inside. Sadly, can't say the same about the outside, because the outer display is still only 60 Hz, which they had fixed with the new one, but in this model, stuck at 60. Now that inner display obviously looks nice, but just like everyone else with a folding phone, I do have creases. And the creases I can live with because it's almost unnoticeable when the screen is turned on, as you can see. But when the screen is off, which is very hard to capture on camera, but you can clearly see there are some permanent cracks in that ultra thin glass that Samsung has provided. Alright, now my favorite part, the bugs. Oh man, everyone just loves the bugs. Like one that just started happening recently is the Bluetooth bug, which apparently my Bluetooth just will not turn on, no matter how many times I sit here and tap that button. I even can go into the Bluetooth settings and turn on that toggle switch, and it'll say it's on, but it's really not. It'll just sit there and load and then eventually turn itself off. Another bug that came across very shortly into the terms of having this phone is the camera. The outer camera looks fine, the inner camera works fine, but the selfie camera on the outer display just doesn't work at all. It launches and says failed. Now the speakers, when it comes to the sound, this is one of the loudest phones that I've ever heard. And it still holds up today. A lot of the flagship phones just don't sound as loud and crisp as this one does. Here's an example. Alright guys, that's it for me. Thank you for watching another video. I know this one wasn't as good as the last one, but the goal is to make every video better than the last. And I've got plenty of content coming up in the future, so stay tuned, like and subscribe. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get back to video making it, and I'll see you around. Peace.